call the meeting to order. President Carol Rowe, Bill McGowan, Wayne Sunshine, volunteers. First order of business at our next meeting, which would be on the 20th of September.
Right.
Okay.
I know we have approval of previous meeting minutes, but I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you, so we'll push that one on. John, Wayne, as we talked last week, Wayne had asked about certain things with permits, what have you, and I've been driving around town since but wanted to talk about whether we can get all those sort of permit applications, and I'll let Wayne, since he surfaces, fill it in, but that's basically what we're looking at doing.
Sure.
Wayne?
What, I guess what I was concerned with was some of the tear down and rebuilds, like the one on Atlantic Avenue, about number 85 or something like that, that they tore down a basically ranch style house and they're putting up what looks like a hotel. And I didn't know why they didn't come to the sewer department to be approved for any number of things. But I didn't, so I didn't, I don't know whether it certainly looks like it's more than the probable 4 EDUs that goes with an one permit, and then a quarter of a EAU or a bit, then gets added on. If it has 6 bedrooms, you add two bedrooms to the permit. There's other things that before the Conservation Commission, I was on there a week or so ago, they came up with number 10 Ocean Drive that I thought was a vacant lot, and I don't know where the stage of the building is. I was meant to drive over there, but I didn't get there. And so that's one that didn't show up on a calendar that number 10 existed, I guess. Carol, she came back with this on one that said 25 Ocean Drive or Ocean, whatever it is. And so that was off of my radar too. So I don't know about that. So it was a question of, are we getting, is someone from the sewer department, and it's not one of the 3 members, acting on the building permits as they come in?
Yeah, they should be. I could take a look at those 2 addresses and kind of let you know where we're at with that. Let's see.
John, if I can add to it, I've seen 2 homes on Main Street, one opposite the ball field near Redgate, and then there's another home that's a tear down by just past, if you're driving south, just past Sawyer Street on the water side.
First one you said is,
I'm sure they're putting up it's like a mega mansion or some sort. I don't know what they're putting up, but we need to look at the permit anyway.
The first one isn't on public sewer. The sewer doesn't go up that far from Redgate Lane. So it comes up.
No, this is on Main Street, way south.
I know
of
it's on
Redgate.
Main Street, going up towards the gas station, right? Going down towards Robbins Garage.
No, the other way.
Coming towards town, right? But
Yeah.
but before Redgate Lane.
If you were driving from Redgate, you could take a left. You go about 4 houses, 5 houses down. There's a building right there. Right, and basically it's opposite the driveway to the swimming center.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's on town sewer or not. I thought it was a septic system.
So it's closer to where Ripley exits onto Main Street.
Right. It's probably on the even side, 147 maybe.
Yeah,
North,
it's a garage renovation, but it looks like they're putting something above it, two-car garage.
If I could jump in for a second, I was just out there maybe a week or so ago to shut off the sewer, so I know that it's on town sewer.
okay,
Added in, so that's Bill's right there. They knocked down the garage, they're putting in a new garage, and they added another E1 pump. So now they have 2 E1 pumps on the site.
Not for a garage, certainly.
So more pumps mean more sewer, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Last I checked.
I will, I'll look at 85 at 146, 10 Ocean Ledge, I think was signed off by the sewer department probably back in 2 years ago. So that's probably why it kind of wasn't on the radar. It was signed off July 27th of 2021.
Did it have a different address at that point? Did it have a Jerusalem Road address?
I'm not sure what the address was, because sometimes it was a lot. So oftentimes the assessor will give it its address.
Yeah.
So we usually try to go through with the address, but it did go over to sewer. And it was signed off on.
So, Carol, would you look that up and see whether or not it was ever paid to the sewer department? That was the question.
Which address was that?
That was 10 Ocean Ledge, Carol.
Ocean.
Okay. Okay, hold on, I'll
Yeah.
check it for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, it was 2 years ago, so that one just took a while in the works. I think they went to court, or there were some other issues that they had to resolve.
Now, there's a couple of houses that look like renovations, and then a new house coming up on Forest Avenue, and I question the addresses there. I'm only going by my shrinking knowledge of.
Yeah, there is so towards the end of Forest Ave, heading towards Hull on the left-hand side, Wayne, is that what you're talking about? There's a new.
Yes. Yep, there's
Yep.
a brand new house out with for sale sign, and then it looks like a little village being built behind it.
Yeah, so there's I don't believe they're on sewer.
Well, they should
Sewer
be.
only goes up a little bit at the forest.
No, it goes down to the first cross street.
Yeah, it's past Black Rock Road.
Black Road is sewered.
Yeah.
But the sewer continues on further down Forest Avenue towards North Main Street. I think the road names of it. I'm just my memory is hurting me.
I thought I didn't know any of Forest was on sewer.
Yeah.
Just
Somebody is right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick up
That again, if I could, that house is definitely on sewer. We had to go out, put a mark out there before they did all that work. I believe the sewer goes to either Circuit Drive or Circuit Terrace. Forest Circle or Forest Terrace is where it stops.
yeah, so this Forest Notch, Forest Circle.
Yeah, it's one of those two is where it
Okay.
stops.
Yeah, so it goes a little past Black Rock Road, I guess, then it stops right there. Okay.
Yeah, a little further.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because Forest Notch, Forest Circle, those are on the opposite side of the Black Rock.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
And there's probably 20 houses involved. There's
Yeah,
like about 10 and 10 or something.
okay, yeah. Yeah, so there was one home that existed. There was another home behind it that existed. They tore down the home behind it. They remodeled the home up front, put a garage on. The home behind it they tore down. It looks like they're building a new one. And then farther down towards Hull, the ranch house was sold, and that had 2 lots. So the second lot became a buildable lot in which they built a brand new home. So that would be one that would have to have come to sewer for the 37.5.
Yes, I think I know the house you're talking about. I could
Yeah.
kind of take a peek at. I'm not sure the address. It's somewhere in the 300s, probably
Yep.
346 maybe.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
pretty good sized house too.
Yep, I think that's a 3 or 4 bedroom anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
If I could help out a little bit on this, sorry to keep interjecting here.
Sorry.
That address, I believe, that house has a Spindrift Lane address. Because that was the markout request that we received was for Spindrift Lane, so they're actually hooked in. Somehow they have a Spindrift address. I'm not quite. I mean, I don't take my word 100%, but that was the markout request was for 6 or 8 or.
I think it's 8 Spindrift then.
Might be
Eight Spindrift.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
That-
the cul-de-sac that's behind it, right? It's because that's where you can access the property to the garage is from that lane. There's no direct drive off Forest Ave to the house, I don't believe.
I think they have frontage on Forest Ave,
Correct.
but they use the Spindrift for access.
So
Okay,
if I could share my
Brian,
screen, it might be easier to look at the actual plan of the sewer in the area.
Wayne, I do have the 37.5. They did send it to us.
They did, okay.
Yep,
That was 8 Spindrift, right?
8 Spindrift.
Yep. Okay.
Carol,
Yes.
Brian wants to share the screen. He wants to show a plan.
Oh, sorry. Okay, see if you can do it now, Brian.
Do you guys see the plan on my screen?
Yes,
Yeah, so this is the as-built sewer for North Cohasset from, I don't know, was it 98 or 2000? This is Spindrift right here. I'm not sure which property you're talking about, but this sounds like the area.
that's it right there. Yep.
Yep, that's the one.
So you can see all of these, there were stubs back in the day when this was first sewered. It looks like for each different parcel, with the exception of this one over here, that's, I don't know if that has an address, but
Was there a stub off of Forest Avenue?
I don't. So this one here, I don't see a stub, but obviously, you know, if they were going to connect, you would assess that 37.5, but you couldn't deny them access because they have you know, frontage on Spindrift and Forest Ave and access to sewer.
Right, and then if you go towards the left, skip over that big empty lot.
This way or the other way?
The other way, yep. Right there, those two properties, I believe the first one is the one that came down. They remodeled it, and the one behind it is completely down. But they've already wanted sewer.
Yeah, I can tell you just from personal knowledge, I know those folks, they tore down the house next door to it and expanded that initial house to take up the property, and then they tore down the house and back, and they're making a horse barn, so it's all gonna be one giant property.
Okay,
Yeah, I actually, Brian, I think they might keep the horse barn as a separate, although they'll own it, it will remain a separate property.
Okay.
Yeah, but
But they had sewer there initially, so it doesn't appear to be like a new application or a new connection.
Right. Yeah, and it was across the street that was where I had the questions on. The one with,
Is it shown on this plan?
yeah, on this area, there was several changes done. No service connecting required. Let's see a note down there to a house in the back.
This here? Okay.
Yeah. But because
So I guess the long and short of it is, I guess any kind of new tear downs or rebuilds, we'll just need to look at it. Like Carol and John just say, you know, does it have sewer and should it go before the board as a new application?
yeah, because this doesn't show it, but when you have the 10106 there, that's not showing any sewer off the street. Except, I don't know where it's, you only see the one house, at
This one here. Yeah, it looks like 927. It must have been grandfathered in, or it has its own septic. And these these houses here. I think this is called Forest Circle or something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the disconnects, I think, is Carol, if you're getting applications with a check and approving them,
Mhm.
we should probably get some sort of monthly report from you that says we received an application and it was approved, or
Okay,
comes in front of us. I guess we're not fully realizing what is in front of you during the course of your week, you know.
Mhm.
So
You know, Paul, that's a good idea, and I might ramp it up a bit, like, rather than waiting a month, I think every meeting, we should just have, you know, any new permits.
okay.
Yeah. Now, before the Conservation Commission last week, 205 Atlantic Avenue, which is the Shoots property, they presented a number of plans and stuff like that. And it didn't show the sewer going that we're going to have to talk to them about on the plan. But it appears as though, and John, maybe you could tell me, I thought originally that there was a single 3-acre lot that was spun off, and I just wondered, did they cut the that 3-acre lot into two 1.5-acre lots? Because the property for this one is the 1.5 acres, or the 60,000 square feet, number 205. So I wondered if there was a 207 or a 209 or something that created more of an oceanfront lot up back.
Let me see if they've applied for a building permit yet, so that might kind of let us know.
Because this lot only goes up to the back of the tennis court, and so their view is looking really to the right towards the area. Let's see.
Ye-
So
Yeah,
that's
they haven't applied for a building permit yet, so we don't have their information to, usually once they apply, we're able to, notify Carol, fire department, other water department, depending on what they're doing, so.
right. Okay, so there's no lot up above it, right? When you put that down just a little bit. So 215 still contains all that area there then. Okay. Because what we need for this lot at 205, they need to come across the front, and it looks like there's far more land, town-owned land in the front. It looks like it's, pretty significant. There's maybe 50 feet or something that they would want to come across to go in, sewer connection that serves the barn, and serves the back house the back house at the top. Because although there's sewer on Atlantic Avenue, it's not live today. And we're looking at enlarging the pipe that goes across the bridge on over to Williams's property past the barn. So there's a dry pipe in there, but it's not, the dry pipe isn't live, so it can't take any septage. Did that make sense to when it comes through?
Yeah, I remember way back, we put a stub on into, I think, a 205 Atlantic.
Right, but the stub came off of the dry main.
Yeah.
So we don't currently have sewer flow going under the bridge, but we put the pipe in to then connect it at some time in the future as a second egress out of the area coming down off of Beach Street and heading down Atlantic Avenue. And that still may happen in the next year or so.
Yeah, so I guess just bottom line is 205 Atlantic. Do you guys see my mouse when I move it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So 205 Atlantic is the property I think that will be developed at some point. And just for John's benefit, when we did the bridge back probably like 5 or 6 years ago, the sewer department in the town paid for a crossing, but that crossing is stubbed at either end and it's not connected to the sewer, which is down here at this last house. So there is a dry pipe at some point along this frontage. And if they wanted to connect to it, you know, we need to connect the dots down Atlantic Ave. I think it's probably about 400 feet of 4-inch pipe. But that's, you know, I don't know if they really wanted to do it. Could they subsidize and put that pipe in, or make another connection across, you know, the property next door?
They did show that there were unbelievable plans that they filed with conservation for it. So they certainly, and they're in the permitting stage, so something is going to happen. I just wanted to sort of make John aware of it so that when they come in, I didn't see sewer on the plan, and they should have some ideas, and that's where it should go now, unless they wanted to subsidize the connection of the 4-inch pipe, which would be, you know, a good 100,000 plus.
And just, I'm just throwing it out there as a recommendation. I mean, I think the board would consider, I'd say consider waiving their connection fee if they laid that pipe down. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, okay, because then they'd have the stub already in
Yeah.
on their side of the road.
It's a single family dwelling that's proposed.
I believe, I'm guessing, with the location, there might be two, but I don't know yet. Again,
It's
it's
7,000 square feet
All right.
is the
Yeah.
footprint.
Tiny house.
Single dwelling for a lot of people. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I
Wayne, did you also have concerns about Diane Lane?
Yeah, I don't know where we stand now on the one house that was on the corner that we were trying to get them to get it on a betterment, and I don't know what the end result on that was, but it was supposed to be resolved.
I believe on Evelyn there's 3, 9, and 15.
Right.
Yes.
That, well, had one owner, and I think all the hookups are done there, and everything is paid up to date for all 3.
But for sewer, they are?
I believe anything outstanding was taken care of.
Okay.
Can you check on that, please?
I will.
I think number 2 or something was the one that was, they had paid $6,000 to the owner of the land. And the owner of the land never paid the $6,000 to the town, I guess, or something. And so, of course, a couple of years went by, and nobody wanted to pay the 37,000 minus the 6,000.
And I think, wasn't that a transfer from another property or something? There was something fishy about that, or I don't know, fishy is the right word, but something.
The guy had 3 EDUs from, I think it was down by the Templar House on Jerusalem Road.
That was
And
torn
he moved him up to Diane.
down.
So to Bill's point, I think they accepted the 3 EUs and then just paid for one more. That's what was cleared up, as I think it's probably the last time that the board will do that, but
Right.
And it's certainly not with him.
yeah, I think that it was a kind of shady character to begin with, but that's a
It'd be a nice.
Yeah. But I know 9 and 15 have cleared up their end of the sewer fees as well.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So just on a regular basis, just so we're kind of in the loop on occasion, we're not in the loop all the time, is kind of one of the main reasons why you're here, to clear up what we think we're missing information on. And if Carol's getting things from your department and signing off on it, we need Carol to report to us any new permits every time we have a meeting. And then secondly, we'd like to find out from you when these building permits are issued for some of the larger properties, we seem to be missing a visit from the stakeholders. A couple of examples I had sent you an email on, which you did respond to. Sometimes you don't hear from them either. For instance, like One Pleasant Street, we know is near completion, but they've never come to us, or they came to us about a year and a half ago to talk about what the sewer hookup fee would be, and they haven't been back since. They were looking for a credit of some sort on the affordable housing element. Of course, there's the spot across from on South Main Street, across from St. Anthony's Church there. That was a change of use property with 3 apartments and 2 retail spots underneath, which is a change of use. We haven't heard or seen of them either. And some of the other properties I think have been since cleared up. But those are 2 that come to mind. I know that in the Village project got approved, but they haven't had any movement at all with the 14 or 16 apartments that are going to go there. So I'm sure we'll hear from them in a year or so.
No, well, that's going to auction in 2 weeks. Foreclosure auction.
Which property? That
The 55 South Main Street.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the bank. Saperstein is the auctioneer if you want to look it up.
Okay.
And on the Chavo property.
147.
Yeah.
147, there you go, yeah.
That is, they did have two apartments on the 2nd floor, and then they had the gas station or the repair shop. Used to be a gas station, the repair shop on the 1st floor. So I think there are some credits for what he had. I just don't know if, in fact, they added, I don't know what the plans are for the building today as built. So
Yeah. So what the plans are now, I believe it was 3 businesses on the bottom, 3 bays, if you will, not garage bays, but business bays. Up top, they've agreed and applied for one of the apartments to be affordable. And then so there'd be a total of 3 apartments and one of them be affordable. So the town would get credit for that. And I thought at some point he was in front of the sewer board. It might have been going back a while, but if not, we could have him. Yeah, but if not, we could have him revisit you guys.
Yeah, I don't remember them.
Yeah,
to-
so he was supposed to go in front of water too, and I don't know if he had done that as well.
I can reach out to him because we just notified him about the affordable housing unit and how to proceed with that.
Right.
So there, and oftentimes too, indeed, some of these too, I won't issue an occupancy until we have, I hear from Carol or Brenda on the final approval, so that all the fees have been squared away.
Okay,
that's great.
thank you.
And then One Pleasant, if you guys are probably aware that the possibility of the town hall moving over there. So I think we're waiting for that for their final calculations. They have been in touch with us, so I think you'll be seeing them soon. I think maybe it was last night at Selectmen's meeting, they might have made the announcement. So
That's gonna be, we're gonna be dealing with the town, not the owner of One Pleasant, correct?
I didn't hear all of what you said.
So, when this gets approved, or if and when it does, we would be dealing with the town, not the current owners of One Pleasant.
Right. The idea is for the town to purchase the property, including the affordable housing and the 1st floor.
And we wouldn't want to pay the 37,000 if we had to pay it. So it's probably not going to have a fee.
So you would.
I think we would wait a while. When I first got on the board, whatever that was, like 37 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we had something that the town bought and gave them a modest fee, and then didn't charge the use. It was like a connection fee and something else, and that was it.
No, the resident. So I had 2 questions for John. One is, so the town is interested in purchasing a building that has no occupancy permit.
It's under a purchase and sale agreement, which would probably have all the conditions in terms of what would be done by the existing developer to suit the town's needs, and what that might cost in addition to whatever the fees are. They they have numbers that they've created that the selectmen have pretty much agreed to that would be in a purchase and sale agreement.
So,
And that's,
the question is, who would pay the $100,000 and privilege and hookup fees? And then if the building is going to remain first floor town hall, second floor is residents, they're going to be paying water and sewer, I would assume.
Yes,
For sure, we can charge the town an EDU fee.
town is gonna get the revenue from it. It's actually 2 floors of
Yeah,
residences there. And they have the option of making them all affordable, or making half of them affordable, or 1/10 of them affordable. And in fact, that revenue is gonna go to the town. And supposedly that would pay the mortgage of the whole building, so. But it's gonna come before fall town meeting, but they certainly have to be doing some announcements now so that they build up and educate people as to what they'd like to do.
and I think between now and the purchase that either the owner or the town will come in front of the board. I think that they didn't want to really come in front of the board until they had the agreement in place and it was made public, because now we could do a flow count. Now you can do the affordable housing count, so at least the board could have that information, and then the, fee waiver. I mean, yeah, you would have to either waive, accept, or a partial fee, or however it is, but it has to go, it will be going back in front of you guys. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's trying to avoid that. I think they had to wait till the actual purchase agreement took place before they could do the final calculations to, hey, this is what we're doing. All the 13 apartments are going to be affordable. All downstairs, we have a municipal building. Here's the count for that. So that way, now that it's kind of official, they could kind of put together some of the numbers and flow. So at least that's all on the table now.
Okay.
And just to reiterate, the town would be purchasing the building, but they'd purchase as a complete building. So it would be whatever they do, it would be a finished building. So the upstairs would be finished, the downstairs would be finished, all it'd be move-in ready, if you will. That's the idea behind it.
And
Good.
all this for less than half of what it was gonna cost the town to remodel what we had.
Yes, significantly less.
And in fact, there could be some nice uses for the old town hall offices. And so, so that may involve some public or private, dealings, depending on what the town wants to do. At least we don't have to tear it down and rebuild it.
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess I'm just,
So it's,
I guess they're waiting to finish the building until after the decision at town meeting.
no, I think it's negotiated right now that they're gonna continue, well, they won't do they can continue with the apartments, but they're not gonna renovate it unless the town buys it.
Yeah, no, I'm only concerned that we need to assess the roughly $100,000 sewage privilege and hookup fee to the building, and is he going to pay for that, the current owner to us, and then he sells the building to the town?
And those are the mechanics of the purchase and sale agreement.
Yeah,
I doubt it. I doubt he'll do that.
So it's not included in the price
Well,
to the town.
I think that they haven't, that's the flexibility in the price. I don't know whether they've done that, so that cost will be either added in and the town will pay them to pay the sewer or however they're gonna work. I think part of that agreement, now that they've come to a conclusion, they get what the use of the building is, what the flow is for the downstairs. Now they have the calculations if it's going to change from a restaurant business use to all essentially business. And so now they can do that calculation. I think that's why you're going to see them in front of you at some point, Paul. It's just a matter of now that it's kind of, as of last night, it was public. Now they have the authority to move forward with that.
Okay.
So that's great news.
Yep.
And speeds up the whole deal with office space and everything else so much. You know, we were looking, if we did the job, it'd be 2 years or 3 years from now before it would be finished.
No, it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
I think from a logistical standpoint, it's probably February or March that you would see the building complete and move in ready.
Right.
So just
Right.
kind of.
That's so far closer, so much better than if we had at the last town meeting and passed the,
Yeah, and it's all.
And it's all here and
everything else.
everything else.
Right. and it's
And also we have the municipal lot right behind this, that would be part of the town use too. So that, helps out with parking.
right, and that stays empty most of the time, and it's used mostly used by the people that own the houses there to put their extra car there, but very, very seldom, only during the, like festival or something like that anybody ever.
Yeah,
And I think from a practical point, that lot would be used for employee parking for the town. And then the parking that is supplied by One Pleasant would be as people come in to see the town and, do their business, they'd have that parking in front of the building.
excellent.
So I'll again continue to coordinate with Carol too. She always has an open line. She's with any questions, she's able to call me as we kind of, avoid things slipping through the cracks. It is eventually we're going to catch them. So there's no there's no free rides happening. So we try to follow up on that too.
Good.
So she's been very helpful with that. And then I'll follow up on 85 Atlantic Ave and 205 as they come through the system. That we'll send that stuff over, and I'm sure there'll be a discussion regarding that extension of the line or the hookup at some point too.
Yep.
Again, that was I believe that at 205. I think the new owner is the same person who had 10 Ocean Ledge. So they were willing to work before and there. So I think we might get the same response this time.
Right. But their plans and stuff are just like impeccable in terms of detail and everything else. So, they've got a new, not a local engineer, but someone that really is, from what I read, and you'll be seeing the plans, I guess, very shortly.
Yeah, they have been in touch a little bit, just briefly, but the building department's probably one of the next stops.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, John. And maybe if you don't mind, we can schedule this kind of briefing like every other month, that type of thing.
Sure. Just as I think Carol can reach out. This is fine. And then I think the only other thing on your agenda, did you have any questions for 46 border, the Atlantica? I'll just, if you need a little briefing on that,
No, we're just waiting. We're waiting for, we had a meeting with them 2 weeks ago, where we asked them to do certain things like camera a couple of small areas that they hadn't cambered, and do things to like watertight manhole covers, things of that nature. We haven't heard back from them yet, and Dan is not on.
Okay, they will be doing that in phases, probably 3 phases. Not probably, but it will be 3 phases. So the first phase is if you're looking at the building left-hand side, the second phase would be the kind of right-hand side, and then the front right would be the third phase there. So
Now,
that's,
that's,
Yeah, no, we went through that with the engineer
Oh.
but it's just, we gave them a list of, I don't know, 5 or 6 things that they have to get back to us, and I haven't heard yet.
okay. And then again, phase one, before they can proceed to phase two, needs to
Yep.
be 100% complete and occupancy installed
Now-
before we can move on.
they, first of all, I think, just to confirm, that each of the units are going to have separate utilities, or are they gonna go to a condo type of use?
I believe it's all going to be one flow, but I'm not sure. You'll have to confirm with them. They haven't indicated that it's going to be a condo of any type. They seem to indicate that it would be one owner for the whole. And they, other places are going to be leased or rented as opposed to sold.
Yeah, I heard that one was sold, and it was like 41 an A or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that hasn't come to us yet, but that's,
So I think our intent would be to have separate meters. The up on 3A on Stasco's property, each of those apartments have separate water meters and consequently a separate sewer and a water sewer bill for their consumption. And I was wondering if this was going to have the same thing, because they actually had 2 connections to the sewer when it was the hotel, and the hotel had enough EDUs so that they're not paying $37,500 for each unit. That's sort of been paid, but the having the meters and stuff has to be.
So would this be the Atlantica or would this be the other?
This is the new where the hotel was, rather than.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So
Yes, those units are all separate and will actually issue all separate building permits and then a common occupancy for the end. So that
Oh.
way, if any users in the future, this is over at Elm Street, any users in the future will pull their own permit for their own units.
Oh.
So that would be just like a single family home
Okay.
within there. So they'll have all separate utilities, electrical, water, and sewer.
Okay, so that was the one that I was thinking, and of course, over at the old Hugo's there.
And you don't know if that model is being requested right now for the Atlantica site?
As of right now, it is not. I don't believe they have any, the latest plans do not have any residential units there, so it's all business. So they haven't indicated that yet. So if they do, I'll certainly let you know. But as of now, they're planning on being one owner for the Atlantica, and then just rent or lease out the buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, and we met with, or we had conversations the last meeting about what they needed to do outside, and Dan gave him a short list of things that he wanted to be located on the plan. So we're not, and then the call came in that we're holding something up, but I don't think we're holding anything up.
No, I got the same call. So
Yeah.
we're just doing our job.
And that's what that particular owner does to people too.
Yeah, that's all right.
Gotta do this. I need it today.
So if you guys have any further questions going forward, feel free to reach out. Again, either individually or through Carol. But I'll follow up with that other stuff on Atlantic Ave, and then if you want to, November, we could get on your next meeting and update you.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you, John.
I
Thanks,
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Likewise. Take care.
Bye.
All right, so Scott, you've got some important news on influence stuff, right?
Hold on. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to share my screen so you can all see me. There we go. Yes. Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Our influence sampler, unfortunately, has reached its demise. That influence sampler was before me, so it's been here at least 11 years. And unfortunately, it is something that we have to have. So I did send. We got a quote from Hawk. Sent it over to Carol, and we're just
How much?
7 grand.
There you go. Thank you.
7?
Yeah.
7.
Sold. I make a motion to approve that purchase.
I'll second, and then we'll do a roll call. Bill McGowan, aye.
Paul Kearsarge.
And does that cost you to put it in?
No, it's plug and play. Yep.
Okay, beautiful.
Just plug it in and program it ourselves. So it's just that cost.
Yeah, there was a small charge of like 500-600 or something. I forget what it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
The programming of it, probably, yes.
How quickly can you get it?
Can you get it, Scott?
I don't have the quote in front of me. There is a lead time. I thought it was really short, maybe weeks, 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
maybe?
2 weeks. 2 weeks was on the quote.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fire away.
Fire away.
So
Thank
the question I have is, I know the other one lasted a while. So the question I have is, since this is an important piece of equipment that you're using to determine the information that we need for this, is this get calibrated once a year? Does this have some sort of maintenance to it? Or is it just a simple appliance?
It's
piece to you?
it's basically a simple appliance. We have purchased one. We have an effluent sampler that's in the main building. It'll be pretty much identical to that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're pretty much plug in, and as long as it's taking the appropriate sample, there's I'm sure there's some maintenance to it. There's some lubricating parts maybe, but it's basic. It's a basic appliance.
So the level of accuracy is pretty wide open then.
As far accuracy, as far as the amount of sample it's taking,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's based on a formula based on how far it has to pull.
Okay.
And it has a certain amount of. It basically just takes a sample every time we ask for it. So many pulses come through, and it takes a general sample. Which goes into a composite sample that we do at the end of the week. So it's not, even if it took a little more this time or a little less, it's a composite sample over the 24-hour period.
Okay.
Perfect.
Any update on the,
Yeah, I'm still purple, so that's why I got my camera on.
you're purple.
I
Like a bed.
did send to Carol yesterday, just a quick membrane update. I can kind of, if it wasn't forwarded.
It was.
Perfect. Well, like I said in the email, membranes, plants running very well at the moment. It's going to be a time thing. But everything did recover, where all the TMPs are back to normal. Like I said in the email, everything has returned back to normal. We're down to our normal amounts of air, run times, everything. I dare say couldn't be better. Unfortunately, it's just a matter now. It's a waiting game. Are we going to get 4 months? Are we going to get 3 months? Are we going to get 6 months? I don't know at the time. I mean, we just finished last Friday. The 14th clean cassette went in, so this is kind of the first week of 2 completely clean sides going to work, but they're doing great.
So Carol, on that note, have you heard from the attorney as to when we're gonna have another call?
Not yet. But I can find out.
Can you rattle his cage or
Yes, I
ask
can.
Michelle to rattle his cage? I mean, I just think this has been too quiet. We don't
Okay.
seem to have any sense of urgency on somebody's side, and I won't say whom, but we got to push this thing. In my opinion.
I agree.
After the email chain yesterday, I forwarded that to Michelle to see if there was any update. I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay.
Just one question for Scott. Yeah, after this meeting, do you have time to look at that manhole we were talking about on out on the street?
Absolutely.
And pop it, right? And just for the commission's benefit, so we're paving Elm Street and Margin Street in the short term, hopefully in the next month and a half. I purchased watertight manholes, which Carol has the bill to pay out of the I&I money, but I'm going to have our contractor TL Edwards install them on Margin Street. So all that 11 manholes that along Margin Street where it floods from Howard Gleason down around by the hotel development, will be the new watertight manholes before they pave, similar to what we did on Border Street. So that's ongoing. And then Scott had just asked me yesterday, there's a large diameter manhole that seems to be too big for what you need, and it's a large effort for him and the staff to open it up. So we might change that to a regular 24 diameter manhole.
Can Edwards do that while they're doing it?
Yeah, so we're going to look at it today. The only concern I have is that, you know, if the casting opening below is way too big to support just a 24, we'd have to, you know, kind of brick pyramid up or put a donut or something underneath it. So we'll look at that now, but I think it makes sense to change that out to a smaller, more manageable manhole. And I don't think that's a flood. I'm pretty sure that's not a flood area. But if we need to, we can, I guess, put a watertight there too.
And that, Ryan, that's on the effluent line anyway. So that's the pressurized line going out. So, you know, any
You
water.
pop it, you're looking at a solid pipe. There's no opening or anything
Exactly,
like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So what is it like?
It's got an air release manhole down there as well.
Okay. So
So-
that's the reason for it, just to get in and look at, like, service your air release.
Exactly. Yep. Once a quarter, we're doing the air releases, and I don't know if it was put in because of the fire department, but we have other manholes on that street, or you know,
Right.
so we'll take a look when you come. And
Yeah,
when
we can get a regular H20, you know, loaded 24 diameter, nothing, something that you can manage. It makes sense.
perfect.
It doesn't need to be watertight if there's no opening in
No,
there. So,
exactly, exactly.
cool, thanks.
Did they put watertight covers behind on Elm Street where the residential house is there in the back where they changed the route of the sewer main? Did they all get in as watertight?
I'll have to check that. I don't know the answer offhand. I'd be surprised if we didn't require it, but I don't think I've been back there in a couple of months, so.
That certainly is a place that the water can go over.
Yeah, and it has in recent weeks.
So,
And just on that note, Scott, do you like, I know we take our running average, so our plant flow is based on the 12-month running average of daily flow, but you know, we've had the rainiest year in a long time. So I'm guessing our daily average, monthly average is up. Do you have any kind of indication, early indication? Because once January comes, that calculation happens and we see what the flow was for the past year, right?
Well, it's a 12-month running average. So every month, 1 month drops off, new month comes on.
Okay.
So it's a constant. I actually want to say, I think it's actually been going down this year, because last year we had a couple of January, February's where we had like 400, we averaged 400,000, which we've been waiting to drop that off. I don't have it right in front of me at the moment. But we're still around that 300,000, just under that 300. It's going to be going down because, you know, we have a little less flow coming right now for the past month or so.
Good.
So yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so do we have anything else, Scott? Or are you good?
No, for the moment we're good down here. We're gonna try to catch up on everything else that we've been not getting to because of membrane cleaning, and we're gonna try to go forward. Yeah, no, things are good here. Yep.
Very good.
Very good.
Or do we have anything else you want to talk about? No, silence is good. I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'll do a roll call. Bill McGowan, aye.
Wayne Sawchuck, aye.
Paul Kearsarge.
All right, guys, see you in 2 weeks.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.